Welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Are we getting recorded? We are. Perfect. Hi. Last we saw, we were exercising, and we went home with Lily and Hanako. We talked for a little bit. I think this was about like a week and a half ago, so I don't remember too well. Sorry for the uploads being a little late this week. It was a little rough, or last week, I guess. I had scheduling issues, but we might be okay this week. We'll see. We're not sure. I might have to be working a little bit extra for a little while, but that's fine. Okay. Sorry, I'm really nervous for no reason. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. It's about my health, after all. I don't know why I said it like that. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made my existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell did she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you! I'm surprised to see you again. Why is that? Well, not many people actually well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowns, seemingly annoyed at a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Damn, what a bitch. Still, it was only supposed to be volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So come on. God. So early, bro. Find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Emmy moves on effortlessness that I find invaluable. It's incredibly bothersome to be easily worn out. I should be patient and work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? I don't know. I mean, like, it's weird, right? Because I'm in the philosophy of, like, if you're running and you get tired, you should stop, because that's like where your body says you should stop, like listen to your body. But I know that's not like the right way to do things, because you're supposed to push yourself and then that way you can increase. But I don't know. I feel like if you want to slow down, you should, just because, your body's like, hey, I'm dying here. So like, I'll take it easy. I let Emmy go with her own pace, and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. Jesus. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not as if I'm putting up any sort of real fight out here, is it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. God, is this even worth it? As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going. It almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Why is she so disappointed? That's stupid, right? Don't be disappointed just because I'm still running. I'm still here. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I've got nothing to prove to myself either. Okay, well, Hisao, slow down. You have stuff to prove to yourself. Let's not. I'm fine the way I am. I mean, you do have a condition, but that's up to you, bud. And what I'm not is a runner. Okay. This was probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I could do instead of this. Damn, he is just completely jumped off track here. I was thinking maybe we're chilling. I didn't think we were gonna give up. Getting up this early sucks anyway. There's not gonna be some other way to keep me healthy. Oops. There's got to be some other way to keep healthy. Walking, maybe? Nice afternoon walks. Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I wave to Emmy and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. See if we can see another naked Kenji. Back in my room, the first thing I see is a familiar row of medication bottles lined up at the top of my dresser. It makes me depressed, as usual. It's annoying. I thought I was okay. I thought I had made peace with this thing and gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here really reminds me of this reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is not going to do so much. I've done this before, for months. Seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as the others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but life is still in progress. A progress. What? But it is a life in progress, okay? This is how I rationalize it. I down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feeling out of my head. Then I prepare to head out to class early, as usual. As I step into the hallway, I notice Kenji coming around the hallway corner, stealthily making his way to his own room with a large bag. As he sneaks past me soundlessly like a ninja hiding in plain sight, I call out to him. Hey. He jumps out the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man, didn't notice you there. I'm really tired. I think it's more he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping? Nah, I wasn't shopping. Sometimes I have to visit the math teacher. Yeah, I figured it'd be a good idea to find out when the next exam is, since he tells you in advance if you want. So then what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping while I was outside. He just said no. I need supplies to continue the fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. Okay. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. I love Kenji so much. I decide to not point out that he is not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets his bag down inside his room, then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find a test date. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Oh. I just wanted to know when the next test day was. I'm still gonna take it, duh. I just need to know what day I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on the crap by phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. Why do you have to go out when you can get it on your phone? He doesn't have a phone, there's no way. Yeah, I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? You mean you just leave it at home? Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have a phone. Phones. I don't have no phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? Why is he saying it like that? That's so weird. I just don't like phones. Actually, I'm pretty scared of them. I don't know why. I just think it's repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear of receiving some undefined, ominous, life-altering doom call, or I was beaten with a phone in the past, beaten so badly I can't remember it. Beaten in the head. Well, where else would I get beaten with a phone that can make me so unable to remember it? The ass! Unexpectedly logical. I feel very depressed now. Sensing this conversation is more or less, Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is gonna start in like 20 minutes. I already did something today. Too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought two because the store had selling individual AA bat. What? Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought two because I thought the store had selling individual AA batteries. Thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, man. Why would you need an individual AA? Motherfucker. He swiftly enters his lair, finally letting me go to class. For a change, I'm not among the first to come to morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces now, though the names escape me still. I'm the exact same way. I remember faces, not names. I'm so bad with names. Class goes on lazily, and I think I'm starting to get the rhythm of school. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues with a pause about the festival. Without a pause. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out laughing, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I went is more that... The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. Voices. They're getting louder. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Miss Sal! Oh shit. I'm gonna make you a one-time super extra special lunch offer. Emmy's homemade box lunches. It's the privilege of joining them in private with two bombshell beauties. Oh my gosh. Her overly flirty sales pitch echoes in the hallway, a remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose, as though an attempt to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V sign for victory with her hand. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe the honor of being invited? You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you can use some company. This is probably the most depressing reason imaginable. So, about it, you're probably really lonely and would eat the awful cafeteria all alone otherwise. I'm kidding. Sure, I'll have your lunch offer, with pleasure. Let's go to the roof. The roof? Why the roof? Because that's where we eat lunch. And if I don't get up there, then she'll probably wander off, and I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs lunch for herself. Well, come with me. Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch? Emmy smiles guiltily. Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who's the intrepid individual who removed that lock. It's definitely Emmy. She's a fucking delinquent. 100%. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Oh shit. Who the fuck is it? She's doing the fucking YouTube face, Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Sorry, my eyes itchy as hell. Emmy flinches back, almost falling down the stairs. Eek! Hello. Yipes, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she? She's right in front of you, bro. Hello. I love Rin. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy curiously looks at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Sal for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get the food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is probably nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in the other schools. A few rundown benches and tables scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. Small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the schools... Wow, why am I my voice? Somehow, when I look towards this town center, the small town... Yeah, okay, it was town center, the small town. Strikes me very strongly. Almost palpably. He's saying really weird words right now. Palpably dilapidated. Man, speak English, please. Smaller English. I don't know what these... I know palpably probably means, like, physically or something. I don't know. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises. This man seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunchboxes from her bag. Come Come on, Hisao. What are you waiting for? I don't know why I said it like that. She's beckoning me to join them, making room on their already small bench. Oh god. I seat myself to the corner of the bench and take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but I somehow got all three of us to fit on it. Yeah, Rin must like take up a lot of space when she eats, right? Because she has to, lay down and shit. Impressive view. And the school looks good too. Sorry. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands the other lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch is promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I made it myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I said about the business of feeding myself. That's such a weird way to phrase that. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food in her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed by her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am right now. Just not looking at Emmy's legs, is that not reminding you as well? Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing. It's not bad, bro. Does getting used to this place mean I'm giving up on being a normal person? Okay, maybe that is a little. Or does it mean that I'm just becoming more understanding about those around me? I think that's more true. I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Yeah, she runs all the time. You know how much energy that must take? Emmy looks up, mouth half... Oh, this is the first time we're seeing her in a uniform, huh? We've only seen her in, gym clothes this whole time. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great, because I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? I nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? I love these two. Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggled to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other really well, so we were assigned to rooms next to one another. That seems like a bad joke. Compliment each other? Like shoes in a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs, get it? Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning, not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? What a weird question. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the facts that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better, and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what, I'm just gonna stop talking. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be in a sage manner. I see. Conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. My lip is like dying right now. It's quite good. Rin finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was so good. She busies herself with cleaning up her lunch. Rin speaks up. Thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk. She tosses that to her? That's crazy. Complete with a pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch to herself. Rin dexterously, whatever you can read, stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. Or maybe you're listening. Do people listen to this without watching? That's crazy. I don't know, maybe they do. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people that think twice about the way they work around their disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Hisao, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places. For the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat... God. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended, trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve. She giggles. Well, that's your answer. I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rendering puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay, too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. It's friends, bro. Just say you're friends.